Okay, welcome back to Star Wars Unhinged. This is episode 3. If I did my math right, this will release on May the 4th.
And also with you.
And my opening question is going to get the unhingedness started. What is the worst scene in Star Wars history and why?
Just one?
Just one. What do you think is the absolute worst scene in Star Wars history, and why is it the worst?
The trash compactor.
What?
Yeah, please elaborate.
Yeah, we're going to have a fight, I think.
Jackson, stand down.
I don't know if I can.
No, because, there's icky things in the trash compactor, because that's what's in a trash compactor. And just the thought of them in there and potentially getting smushed and all the other things, it gives me the ugh.
You don't have to raise your hand.
So from their point of view.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
It's the worst from the character's
I'll
point
give
of
you
view.
that.
Yes.
That makes sense, yeah.
Okay.
I can't believe you didn't say Hoth.
Oh.
Candace, are you okay?
I'm fine.
Cut her off.
Get Candace a water.
No, the trash compactor for me is more
That's more ick.
traumatizing and ick than Hoth.
It is. Okay. You know what? I'll go along with that because it is traumatizing. Even as a little, it gave me anxiety.
Yes, because you don't know. I mean, you know the thing with the eye and it comes out of there. You don't know what else is down there. Jackson.
There's so many. That's what she said in there.
Okay, Jackson, worst scene in Star Wars history.
All right. As we all know, episode 8 is my least favorite. I think for me personally is when Luke throws his lightsaber. Not because when she presents him this lightsaber, it's this huge buildup, and he tosses it to the side. Not because of the story, which is actually would have been really cool how they presented it, but that was just the start to that movie being terrible. So that's mine. It's
okay.
Starting right then is you see him drink the blue milk out of the gross whatever that thing is, and it snowballs into this really bad movie for me.
Okay. Andy, worst Star Wars moment.
I have a different one, but I do appreciate Jackson's because it did really set the tone of now it's a comedy thing and Luke doesn't care and we're supposed to laugh at him throwing away this legacy lightsaber.
This iconic character becomes a joke.
So yeah, good one. Mine would have to be kind of for the same reason. The whole in episode 9, somehow Snoke returned. That line itself, somehow Snoke's returned. Not only is it just a poor writing in and of itself.
Snoke or Palpatine?
But what I say, Snoke return?
Yeah.
Sorry, we're drinking. Palpatine returned. Somehow Palpatine returned.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jackson.
Yeah.
Somehow Palpatine returned. So lazy writing, but also just goes to show that there's no, as we talked about last episode, consistency. So there's no real idea, no real plot. Now Palpatine's returned, even though he was cut in half and he died. Maul was cut in half and he returned later on. People are stabbed with lightsabers and they return. There's no consistency with Star Wars anymore. And I know you mentioned that earlier last episode as well. The consistency, the lazy writing of 7, 8, and 9. And I think that just really is the epitome of what we are all feeling when, somehow Palpatine's returned. Somehow, that's your writing.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's okay with that. And we just shot a whole movie around. For some reason, we don't have any backstory, but
and it snowballs that raise his kid. What?
Right,
Yeah.
which again goes against everything we've known of this guy from episodes 1 through everything up to that point. That he's a family man and he had kids.
Right.
Just because you have kids does not mean you're a family man.
Okay, fair.
That's a good point.
But I don't think he was a baby's daddy having booty calls.
Ew.
Yeah. So what do you want to think about? Read my
He
fanfic.
needed some money before he got into the Senate.
So he's a gigolo selling his body.
No, I was
Do you
thinking
think
just a
he ever
specific
said-
kind of bank.
Do it. Do it.
Do it.
Yuck.
Yeah.
Scott, back to you. Let's
Yeah.
change the subject.
Please change the subject.
It's
Do it.
What about you? What's your favorite or least favorite scene?
I'm going to go very similar to what Andy said. And it's a culmination of things, but the Emperor coming back to life 37 times in 6 movies or 9 movies. just drives me insane. How many times do we have to watch the dude die?
Yeah, and again, we'll come back to that with this third episode, but I have some hot takes on that.
Some
Yeah.
thoughts.
Just so you listeners know, Candace just gassed her drink. Our hosts were so kind and made us blue milk, and it's delicious.
There's a little bit left if you
And
want
Candace
some
just
more.
housed it. It's amazing.
It is really good.
I like it.
So yes, today's drink is
About
blue
to get
milk.
spicy in here.
Right. This is why we do the Unhinged episode third. We've
probably
been
good.
drinking all afternoon. So
This is going to tell you how unhinged it is. Candace, have you got?
yes,
Yes.
she did.
Trash compactor.
Can I have? Okay. Oh yeah, that's right.
That's how unhinged it is. Jackson doesn't know where
I
we
already
are.
forgot. I already forgot. Well, I'm waiting for my turn to talk because I have a 1B. when Leia like can use the Force to
Oh,
get
and
back, that is
Floats through space
you know,
without a
that's
space
the most
helmet on.
Ridiculous.
I blocked all
BS.
that out. I'll back you on that one.
That one is up there. That's in my yeah.
Yeah.
So on that, not only does she have the Force, so we get it, runs strong in her family. You can be trained in the Force. She lives in space, doesn't die in the vacuum and temperature of space, and she somehow flies through space using the Force. And that really, we also saw that at the beginning when Poe is dropping bombs in space on a Star Destroyer. So somehow gravity and then he's when he's flying his TIE fighter or his X-wing, and the gravity, so he's skidding along the top of this Star Destroyer, and then he has to kick the engines back on, and he's getting whipped around in the cockpit from all the G-force. None of that exists in space. And I know we take some liberties with Star Wars, but 7, 8, 9 just like completely ignored anything about space.
Right.
So
they ignored physics.
right. So there's G-force
Kathleen
in
was in charge at the
space.
time,
There's
correct?
there's
Yes.
gravity. He's skidding along. There's sparks flying up in space between metal objects, and then she flies through space. I mean, again, we see this complete lack of appreciation for physics, space, any of
Right.
that stuff. So that's one of those things that really rubs me the wrong way.
Science.
Yeah.
Science. Who
Do
cares
it.
about science? Do it. Do it. Okay, on that note, as you can tell, this is the Chaos episode, which is episode 3. We're going to jump into it right after the break and sit back, relax, grab yourself some blue milk, and enjoy the episode. Hey, welcome to Hanging at the Hangar Bar. I'm Scott.
And I'm Candace. We're here to chat all things Disney as child-free Disney adults. Stories, snacks, and a little magic along the way.
Grab a drink and get comfy and come hang out with us. Okay, welcome back to our Chaos episode. We are excited to have you all back with us on this one. This one should be a lot of fun. I have some episode questions for us should the conversation lull, but I don't think it will. I have asked everyone to come with 2 to 3 topics that they want to cover as part of this episode. So I am going to turn it over to, well, maybe we should have a lightsaber duel between Andy and Jackson for who gets to share what they want to talk about first. Which is lightsaber duel like the same as like
Sword fighting?
yeah, sword fighting or a pissing match in
PG. We're trying to keep it PG, you guys. And I want everyone to recognize again how great Jackson's.
Jackson
You're
is
being
doing
so mature, Jackson.
I
When these
appreciate
mics go
that.
off is a different story. Do you want me to go? I have
Yeah,
one,
go
I have
ahead. Yeah,
one
go ahead.
that I have locked and loaded.
Go
So
for
it's
it. It's up to it.
Okay.
The episode is yours for however long it takes to discuss this.
my first question is, who is your favorite villain other than Darth Vader? And as my friend Scott would say, tell me why.
That's a great question.
I know, Scott. I said it.
I know it was my question.
So while we think, why don't you give us yours?
Boom!
Sword fight time. The one that I think is unutilized the most. I have 2, but I think the one that's my favorite, other than Darth Vader, obviously, because that's all of our choices, is Darth Maul. And I feel like he's finally getting his flowers. He has a new series coming out, which I'm very excited for. Very, very excited for. And I feel like this is one of the Star Wars things that gets super underutilized, is they don't develop any of these Sith Lords. They leave it to the shows to kind of do this, and I think it's lacking in the movies is kind of what I'm getting at. So Darth Maul was supposed to be this awesome character, and then they cut him in half in the first episode. Like, why not make him, more in the story? Which I love that they brought him back, which Scott was kind of poo-pooing on earlier about Palpatine, but I like that they brought Maul back, because I think that Maul back.
It's a wine.
Yeah, just making sure I said that. Yeah. So I think he's probably mine. Maybe that's an easy answer. My sub one to that is General Grievous. I think he would have been such a cool character to delve into, and they show him for like a second, and I think that they were having him just in the series so they could put him in an animated series and like try and again shoehorn a series into the whole thing. So that's my answer.
So I'm going to pause for just a second and explore that, because the Darth Maul story that you're excited about is after he's been cut in half and now he's been brought back to life?
I'm not sure. It comes out, I think, this month on Disney Plus.
Okay. I know you're excited for it, and I know you're okay with him coming back, but I still have problems with people dying and coming back.
So he's already been brought back. So we know he's been brought back, and it was one of the, like, as fans, and I think a lot of fans were like you, Scott, but in the Clone Wars, the animated series, when they brought him back, people freaked out. Because I think he was so underutilized.
Does he have, like, bionic legs? Like,
yes.
How did they bring him back?
Do you really not know?
I don't know.
So, yes, is the answer. You saw Solo, right?
Yes.
So, at the end, you didn't see his bionic legs?
It's been a while since I've seen it.
Right.
I probably did.
Again, I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm honestly asking. So, yes, he in the animated series, they explain it that he gets cut in half, and kind of like Luke getting his hand cut off, they replace the back part of his, or the second half of his body.
His poor wife, or maybe not.
Mrs.
Again,
Maul.
look how
Mrs.
good,
Maul.
Look how good Jackson is being.
Yeah.
But he was such a cool looking character, so much potential, and then to just cut him off at the knees, if you will. Yes, thank you, Candace. So yes, so they've already brought him back, but to give him his flowers and bring back, I'm excited to see that.
Interesting. If I knew he had been brought back after being cut in half, I don't think I remembered it. That's one of my issues with Star Wars.
No one's ever dead.
Well, not that no one's ever dead, but I could watch everything in order and still not think I saw something. Like, it's so disjointed at times, like how it jumps around. I get so confused by the universe at times.
That's one of the things that
So consistency.
we talked about before with George versus Disney, and Disney expanded so much, but they expanded to the point where you would have to watch so much, starting even with other legends and visions and everything else, and then eventually get to Acolyte, and then eventually watch 1 through 3, and then watch all the Clone Wars animated episodes, and then watch Andor, and then Rogue One and Solo and Kenobi and all that before you even get to 4, and then you watch 4, 5, and 6, and then you're also then watching The Mandalorian and Book of Fett and Ahsoka and all there's just so much that you'd have to watch to fully grasp everything.
Right.
And if you haven't started already, you're pretty much already behind.
Right.
And we'll come back to the Maul thing,
So
because
it's
that's one of those things I want
daunting
to talk about.
to start.
Oh,
And Candace,
it's
very
intimidating.
overwhelming.
and that's
Yeah.
and that was kind of, again, Andy, I'm sorry to interrupt, but like, and that's kind of a question I would have for Candace, is like, as someone who's a casual fan, who like more casual than the rest of us, like, who's seen the original, is it daunting to like come into it and you're like, I want to be a fan, but it's so much content. It's
Yes.
too much content.
Yes.
Okay, is that okay?
And like there's part of me, and it's part of the way that my brain works, but I need to have that continuity through the story. Like, I need to understand how
Which
one
they
leads
don't
to the
have.
other, which, to
Right.
the other, which is why I get so frustrated with things like 7, 8, and 9, and parts of 1, 2, and 3, because it doesn't follow 4, 5, and 6 the way that I feel like it should to end in those places. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I
So,
think
again, Andy, I'm sorry to cut you
no,
off.
all good. And I think that's where, kind of going back, I think episode 1, or yeah, we talked about differences between George Star Wars versus Disney Star Wars, and I think George Star Wars you could be a casual fan, and I think with Disney Star Wars you can't be a casual fan. I think you need to know a lot more than what you can just sit down and watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's
I-
harder for you to enjoy.
I really do think that's a huge difference between Disney and Marvel, too, is I feel like Marvel does a really good job of, you can come in kind of at any point and be a casual fan. You can get deep into it, wink, and go into the shows and all that stuff, but they do a really good job of like placating to like people who just want to watch the movies or just want to watch
Right.
whatever, like the surface area stuff. And Star Wars isn't like that, really.
Right.
You really have to like kind of how I was saying with Grievous and other characters, like they're like, let's put this person in there, and then you're gonna have to go out to this other series to watch this to like get the whole story on this character. So and that's lacking, and I don't know what the solution is for that, but yeah, it's definitely different.
Yeah, and like I know that I would be interested in watching the whole thing. And we've talked to you, Andy, about the correct order to watch everything, and you start with Solo. Or that's where we started.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, but then I feel like there's so much that I have to catch up on before I get to the stuff that I know. That
Sure.
by the time I get there,
Or care about.
it's not going to make any sense anymore.
Right. I like what Jackson just said. The stuff
Or
you
care
care
about,
about.
yes.
Not that you know, because if it's a good enough movie, you don't care that you don't know.
Right, because you're learning, and it's
Right.
enjoyable to learn those things.
And for those people listening to the podcast right now going Solo, but there's so much more before that. You know, we mentioned Acolyte earlier. You can watch the whole series of Acolyte. It's not going to do you any good to know anything about the Skywalker saga
None.
or anything after.
None.
So, you know, there are whole things that could be neat in their own right, but are irrelevant to anything within quote unquote the Star Wars universe,
Right.
because it's a standalone series that has no pull on anything. So kind of like Skeleton Crew. It's fun to
Okay.
watch, but it has no. You don't have to watch it.
Right.
So
Right. Okay. My favorite villain that we haven't, Jabba the Hutt.
Oh, good one. That's such a good one.
Yeah, just I don't know why. I think just maybe he's the first kind of side villain that I ever really knew about.
Yeah.
And that he has such, like, to our point earlier when we were talking about not knowing too much about the backstory, like, you knew some bad shit happened
Right.
that
And
Han has to run away from
screen.
him.
Like
Right.
he mentioned him, and he's off screen. And
Right.
Did that give him some allure? And then when you finally saw him,
Yeah,
or-
it's like, oh my God. That's what Pizza the Hut looks like. That's
bingo.
I'm sending it out for you.
Do you have a favorite villain we haven't talked about, Candace?
No.
Hoth, the planet.
Yes.
Yes.
Planet Hoth.
Snow. Snow is my
Snow is your villain. It's
favorite villain that we haven't talked about.
I like it.
Mine would have to be from the Ahsoka series, actually, even though Ahsoka is not near my favorite Star Wars. I don't know what you call that, branches. But Balin Skull and his Padawan, Shin Hati, and for those of you that have seen it, no, but for you right here that don't, in Ahsoka there are two fallen Jedi. Balin Skull was a Jedi at the temple, knew who Anakin was training to be a Jedi. Order 66 happens. He's not at the temple, much like you had talked about earlier. There's a lot of people that survived Order 66.
Yeah, I think like 2 people died at Order 66.
two people
Everybody-
and
They keep bringing
12
people back.
kids.
At the temple.
That's-
Yeah. The daycare of the temple. A bunch of younglings died. So this guy has the Force, raised in the Jedi Order. Jedi Order is no more. What's preventing him from using his lightsaber and the Force? So he's like a mercenary Jedi, essentially. He has a Padawan who wears the Padawan braid, learning from him. They both have lightsabers. They're not good, but they're not Sith, you know?
Right.
And to me, that's a neat dichotomy of the Star Wars universe that we've never really seen. We saw Ahsoka now, so she's not Jedi, but she's still good.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Okay, so you're not a Jedi.
Right. I love
But
those.
you fight evil.
Yeah, I love those stories where you think you know who the bad guy is, but then you see, and they probably tried to do this, like you said, with Boba Fett, but they didn't do it successfully because they had set him up to be a bad guy all along. But that when you all of a sudden you're like, oh, I kind of feel bad for them.
Mm-hmm.
They did it well with Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Well, that was one of the first times you kind of, I mean, that I remember in any kind of storytelling, movies, whatever, where this bad guy the whole time for years, and then they had this redemption at the end,
Right?
When he picks up Palpatine and throws him over,
Right.
Which that was another thing I had. Okay, throwing people down shafts. Candace,
What?
that's something I want to cover later. Anyway, yeah. So, but keep going, Scott.
That idea of like there's not a clear line between good and evil. And I think the Force even tells you that a little bit. Like
Well,
everybody has some of that in them.
Yeah. But also, it's not what they tell you. You know, when you watch the original Star Wars, you know, and especially 1, 2, and 3, where they kind of preach that Jedi are all good.
Right.
You know, you can't have any inklings of anything other than good, and you can't have attachments. You can't have this. You can't have that. And that's what we always talk about with that dogmatic law of the Jedi. You know, it's either all good or all bad, and only Sith deal in absolutes. Even though
that's
the
an
Jedi
absolute.
are very absolute. And so when you see quote unquote Jedi that are not good, but they're not Sith,
Right.
it really opens up that world of this is nothing that we've grown
Right.
to learn. But it's a neat aspect.
Yeah. Just that the way you said that. Only a Sith deals in absolutes. Is itself an absolute.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
So, are you part of the Sith now, Obi-Wan?
Yes.
There's no
Only a
hypocrisy
Sith deals in
there.
absolutes. Wait a minute. Time out, okay? Yeah.
Okay. Andy, what's the first topic you want to discuss?
It wasn't so much a topic. It was a idea for a park type
Ooh,
thing.
okay.
Because we talk about parks a lot. We talk about, you know, what Disney has the money to do versus what they do or listen to fans. And I think it would be a very easy concept for them and a very cheap in the way of Disney funding. Being here in Nebraska, we have the Omaha Zoo real close.
Mm-hmm.
#1 zoo in the world. It would be very easy to make a walk through various planet or battle kind of things. They already kind of have that with the Rite of the Resistance, where you kind of go in through and you see all the stormtroopers and you see space. And space is amazing when you're looking at it, you know, on this hangar deck. If you could walk through the rainforest, and I mentioned the zoo here in Omaha because we have the rainforest, you know,
Right.
it's a 2-level thing that you walk through and you experience a rainforest all enclosed in what looks like the Epcot Center. But if you could walk through and look down on a jungle, and with all the abilities of Disney, if you could walk through a jungle and you see Ewoks and you see speeder bikes flying through the jungle trees, you know, and you walk through the Ewok Village Bridge up to the next thing, and you walk through that, and then you're at a next thing that's a different, you know, aspect of Star Wars, and then you walk through and you're in the Hoth and it's really cold, but you walk through and there's animals and tauntauns there, you know.
Preach, Andy. Keep going, brother.
Preach, you know,
Yeah.
you're going through and you walk through, and then, you know,
The
all of a
Ewok
sudden
Village right there, bruh.
yeah, you're on a bridge overlooking. As you watch everything, you keep going, you end up in the cantina.
What's
You end
the,
up in the, you know,
Right.
What's the Minx is the Swiss Family Robinson
Yeah.
walkthrough thing?
yeah, the tree.
Yeah,
treehouse.
instead of that,
Yeah.
have that an Ewok.
Yeah,
Uncle Jackson's gonna live there.
I was even thinking as you were talking about the Omaha Zoo, how about they repurpose that into indoor?
right.
Like
hey,
license from Disney
hey,
and turn that
maybe
into
a mid-continent thing.
Right.
for all the people that live in the U.S. that don't live on the coast.
And it wouldn't matter if the weather changed because
No,
it's
because
all
it's
inside.
indoor.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
TM.
There it is. But so not so much because and that's another thing. The rides, you go through the queues that we were talking about earlier, and you see all the stuff, and that's cool. But you also wait and you wait and you wait, and you have this, I don't know, 75-minute wait or whatever, and then you go through the ride, and then you're done. If they had something just that you could just walk through and do your thing, just to add to, and there's no real wait for it other than people just meandering through.
Like a self-guided.
And Disney needs more of that.
Right.
They do, like the Moana exhibit.
Yeah.
I was going to say, they
Which
have
is
some.
fantastic.
It
It
is,
is so
yes.
fantastic.
And those exhibits where you just kind of lazily move on through, people move on through, and they do just fine.
Yep.
And Florida, hey, if you walk through Hoth at some point and it's cold, that'd be amazing.
Talk about pinch point.
Yeah. Okay, we got to keep moving, people. But
They have people dressed as tauntauns coming through trying to get you to
Right.
move along.
But, and then you get to the end and maybe you're in the cantina or something,
Right.
and then it's kind of like the gift shop. We spit you out there, and it's up to you if you decide to buy anything or not.
Because of course you want to buy something.
Because you're going to
Right.
buy something. But, something very easily, you walk through and then you're done. And it would incorporate whatever worlds they want to bring into it. So that was just something that I think
Brilliant.
would be very easy for them.
Love it.
Yeah.
I don't know how any of us are going to follow that. That's so good, dude.
Yeah. And they have room to do it. And Florida's and they have the technology to do it, like even to build a Hoth. Like even if it's just like fans and Snope and that kind of stuff, they have the technology to make someplace feel cold.
Between
And again, like what Candace is saying, in August,
Right.
people who go in August, who probably shouldn't go in August. I'm just saying it would be nice to have a little cooling area.
Yes.
Right.
and again, between their filming capabilities that we've seen with Mandalorian, where they're in a 360 kind of, screened in studio, and their 4D experiences.
Yep. No notes. No notes. That's a great idea.
Brilliant.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I think you need to TM that
Right.
immediately.
Josh Tomorrow, if you're listening,
Again,
TM.
dude, call me. We'll talk.
And the person who was just talking was Jackson. Just so you know. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, we're going to pause for just a second and go to our recurring segment of unhinged questions from a Star Wars fan, in air quotes. Candace?
I'm a fan.
She is a fan. I don't like the air quotes.
Okay, so Star Wars casual,
Casual
fan. As I'm being ganged up on now.
Well,
I appreciate it.
Listen.
thank you.
Do it.
Do it. Okay, so Candace, what is your last unhinged question for this recording day?
Okay. My question is about C3PO.
Are we going to have to fight?
So Andy's side-eyeing me so bad right now, just so the audience knows.
Just so the
And
audience
I'm
knows,
here
Jackson
for it.
has
I love
a thing
it.
for
Yeah.
him.
He's C3. Oh, okay.
C3PO.
We obviously need more
Yeah.
bourbon. That's
I'm going to drink more.
Okay, so my question is, he's a protocol droid that speaks however many languages, right?
Over 6 million forms.
Okay. Why is it that snooty British is the one that he lands on?
Because it's hilarious.
But is it?
When his counterpart's going and is snotty, like, yeah. Oh man, yeah. That's my take on it, is because
Because it's funny.
I think it is funny. I really do.
because the
And
actor couldn't do an American
and
accent.
The skinniest person that they could find was a European. Shocking, it wasn't an American.
No, I understand that. Duh. But
Because we have, cheeseburgers and such.
and Ronto wraps and
Yeah.
things.
Well, and our food has flavor.
Right.
England.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I think it had to do. Honestly, I think it had to do with the actor, but I don't know. I think it gives it some flavor. Andrew, what do you think?
I have never really thought about it because, the Empire is all British, and it's interesting now that you say that I've never really made the connection that all the good
That's a
guys
great question, Ken. It's really,
are American accented and all the bad guys are English accented except for 3PO.
And is that a statement about the time that the movies were made and sort of the political?
Well, and he's snooty, and and you think of
And that could be, because it could just be for the comedic relief, because R2 sassy, we all know that. He talks back. We all know that just through context clues.
And with the two of them, there are some pretty heavy things that they go through and things that they've seen. So I get the bit for...
And there's also...
You've heard the theory that these are about them, right?
Yes.
Yeah, which is...
Like the movies are about them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're in every
it's
movie.
their story. Because they're in everything, including like Rogue One and all those sides.
Right.
But like even on Hoth, when they're walking through the hall, at one point you hear 3PO's like, all he said was, I made a comment that it was cold. I didn't say turn up the heat. Now how are we going to dry out all her stuff? Like R2 then turned up the heat in Leia's room and melted everything, and everything soaked all her stuff. So there's just like little quips in there. I think it's maybe the comedy of this, like you said, the snooty British man, and then a sassy American droid, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
Because snooty American doesn't. I mean, you're just being a jerk.
You just sound like a Valley girl at that point.
Valley Girl or from Jersey.
Right.
Yeah.
And I also
your
think...
joints are gonna freeze and stuff.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. And I also think, like, time-wise, in the 70s, C-3PO, you almost see him having an air of class. And in the States at the time, like, England was still being seen as being higher class.
They still are.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, compared to the U.S.
Yeah.
All right, we're not going that way.
We're
Yeah,
not going
in the corner.
politics. But
But you're right. I think that has a lot to do with it. Is he's obviously
he's upper crust.
yeah. Right.
And he is a protocol droid,
And
and that
there's-
sort of fits with...
Right. And he is essentially an ambassador between whoever needs to be.
And anybody
Right.
else.
Right. And then he's, these farm guys buy him, and
As a protocol droid, shouldn't he have had a German accent? Like,
No.
they're known for following rules. They're known for, like, if it's the law, you do it.
Scott.
No,
Really?
no, like, have you not heard that? Like, Germans are, like, they're rule followers.
Yeah. No, we have 2 world wars to prove it. And I think
Oh, this took a turn. I love it.
I think having an enemy that is modeled after a certain, I won't say it, but a certain Reich.
Right.
Take your pick. Probably the third one. That's who the enemy is designed after. I think they probably strayed from any German accent. They used German weapons for the Empire. They used the model of, the stormtrooper, the terms they used.
Right.
Yeah.
All these things from World War II from Germans, steered clear of the accent.
So, but that also then makes sense why he had an English accent. Because you think about the
fighting the
Allies
German-
side
yeah.
of that, fighting against that side, if that's kind of the base that he's drawing, that George was drawing from, was that the Axis versus the Allies were the Americans, the English fighting everyone else.
And to hear C-3PO say to R2-D2, R2-D2, was ist los? Peace 9! Peace 9! I don't think that
So why? So why is it that the Empire is all British as well?
Because it's filmed in Elstree Studios in England.
Right. Yeah, based on actors. It's
No, I see what you're saying.
Fair.
Because, again, and, that's one of those things that confused me as a kid. Why is the Empire British or Roman? I didn't know what they were because all the things that we watched of Rome were also made in Britain.
Right.
So they were British or Roman to me as a kid.
Love it.
But they're all British. And, like, when you watch, Luke's little land speeder and he's driving, he's on the right-hand side of the land speeder. That's because they made it, in England. And
Right.
They brought it down to Africa to film, whereas the Falcon they made in America, and that's why Han's sitting on the left. So there's things that as a kid I'm watching and I'm confused as all get out. Why
Right.
certain people are in the driver's seat? It's not the driver's seat; it's an English vehicle. So there were things that made me scratch my head. But yeah, I think just they're a product of where they filmed.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Like it.
Yeah, interesting. Okay,
Good question, Ken.
good question, Candace. Okay,
Good
next topic. What else are we talking about?
Did we finish on Andy's?
I think so.
Did we?
Yeah, he had the idea for the land.
No,
yeah.
I think we were done with that.
Did we all talk about that?
I thought so. I thought.
Yes, I'm not the only one who forgot stuff.
No, I thought the conversation kind of. That's why I went to your unhinged question.
Okay, I don't-
not to stop us in the middle of a flowing conversation.
No, you said we all had a question, and I had a question, and we went around the circle, and then Andy had
His was more of an idea or a concept, though.
Oh, gotcha. I thought
Not
he
a
was-
question
he wasn't
for each of
asking
us.
The rest of us. This is okay,
Right. It was
gotcha.
more of a concept. So
Gotcha. Okay, I didn't understand the rules.
this episode is chaos, and I love it. What's
It
our
was
next
just so
topic?
good that
Yes.
it just
What-
blew
no,
us all.
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I'm not speaking for the Minxes, but I wouldn't have been able to come up with a different or better one. So yeah.
Yeah, no. I would have gone straight back to what we talked about last time, our Sky City restaurant idea.
The only thing I thought of, and I'll just say this real quick, is a ride where you're on a speeder, because that was one of my growing up. The speeder, the toy when Luke is going on indoor, going through the trees and is on the speeder was one of my favorite toys, and I think that would be a fun. It'd basically be the what's the Tron thing, like
Yeah.
something like that would be
Tron on a
They
speeder.
could
That would
easily
be
do that
amazing.
with the technology behind Flights of Passage. They could easily do
I'm sure. Yeah, I think it would be so. That's my only, and that doesn't hold a candle to what you said. So, but I that would be my.
that'd be
so,
fun, though.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think every kid watching Star Wars wanted to be on a speeder at some point. In between the Pandora ride where you're riding
Banshee.
the Banshee, or what was the one where you're in the lift going over
Soren.
Soren.
yeah.
You know, I think with those technologies, I think they could easily figure out a speeder kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think people would wait in line for quite a while.
Oh, yeah.
If they're waiting in line for Peter Pan, they're going to wait in line to ride a speeder.
Yeah. And have it not be one of those stupid circle.
Right,
Dumbo
where
type
you're-
rides.
Yeah, you're going
Right.
over a circle. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
You know, if you had a little screen in front of you and did some sweet stuff, yeah.
Right.
I think
Well,
that-
and to your point with the walkthrough attraction, like with the screens that they've utilized and other things, they could totally dome that whole thing and just trick out everything. And
Oh, yeah.
like the lighting and the sounds and the atmosphere and the screens and the whole
Like a
thing.
Vegas spheres type thing.
Exactly.
Right?
But like you would completely get lost in
right,
that.
right, for sure,
Mhm.
for sure.
Love it.
Yeah.
TM.
Yeah. Great idea. That's two fantastic ideas for Star Wars Land that we've come up with in these
That they
episodes.
already have
I
technology
agree.
for,
I'm
and
glad
would
that
be too easy
Jackson
to do.
came up with both of them.
Thank you, Jackson. Jackson, share with the rest of us when you become famous.
I won't forget you guys. The little people. Oh, I gotta look. I'm gonna get a little backhand.
That might be a spot for me to insert on. Listen.
Listen.
Do it.
That is also going to become something that becomes a recurring
Please
bit on
do,
our
please do,
podcast.
yeah.
The
Do
sound
it.
bite.
Yeah.
Do it.
Do it.
You're gonna get a call from my lawyer. TM.
Okay. Other topics. Did you come prepared with any other topics, or did you just prepare your unhinged
I
questions?
think that was enough.
Okay, that's fine. I don't think. I have some discussion questions, but this is you guys as you all's episode. You guys is where am I from?
No one knows.
Nobody knows.
Are you waiting on me?
I'm waiting on
Oh,
somebody.
I thought you were reading.
It's-
No, I was looking because I thought I made notes.
No, my only other thing was we already covered the emotional piece.
Mm. Yeah. So Jackson, you had mentioned something like for each of the last 3 episodes, you keep bringing up something that you're like, "Ooh, we're going to get to that."
I did.
But they're gone now.
Okay, so one of them that I remember that
Thanks,
I brought
Bourbon.
up.
Sorry.
It's
Yeah.
it's all right. Interrupt us when it comes back to your brain when we're
If
talking about the
it
next
comes
thing.
back, I will definitely.
Earlier, you talked about Darth Maul getting cut in half.
Yes.
So something that I find frustrating as a fan, and I wish Disney would either help guide or maybe have a little bit more oversight. I don't know what needs to happen, but I am incredibly frustrated seeing Darth Maul cut in half, and then he comes back, and then Emperor Palpatine cut in half, and then he comes back, and then when you watch like Kenobi third sister gets stabbed in the chest as a youngling by Vader. She lives, comes back. She gets stabbed in the chest later on by Vader, lives, goes back fighting. The head Inquisitor that's supposed to be this dark, lord essentially of the Sith in eventually working for Vader, gets stabbed like right through the heart and lives and comes back. And then you watch Qui-Gon get stabbed in the chest in episode 1 and he dies. And then you watch Master Indara in The Acolyte, and a bad guy throws a knife and it gets stuck right in the center of her chest and she dies. I just wish there was consistency with death, or how things happen.
Yeah.
If a little knife can stick halfway into her chest and she dies, which wouldn't kill a normal human being, it's dead center when it wasn't even really through the breastplate by the looks of things, know, and then she dies on screen. But you watch bad guys get stabbed over and over again and they live, or cut in half and they live. Again, kind of like our physics talk earlier, I just wish there was consistency with, is this going to kill or not?
Right.
It's all I want to know at this point.
Getting thrown down a shaft. Is that the end of you, or is it?
And again, we see Luke fall down a shaft. Okay, he lands, he slides, he goes on this long tube ride. Cool. Yeah. Palpatine explodes.
Make that a ride.
There's an attraction for you.
So you get your hand cut off, then you get to run. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
You get a really cool glove out of the deal.
But Palpatine explodes, because he's doing Sith lightning, and then explodes and somehow lives. So I don't know. I just wish there's consistency.
Yeah, they're consistently inconsistent.
Right, which is witty but frustrating.
Right, and like you think about all of the things that they've introduced since Disney took over. I think that's one of my biggest issues, is it's hard to follow along. We were talking about it earlier, of if you start at the beginning, where is the beginning? And there's so many inconsistencies in story from director to director to director that it just becomes impossible to just stay connected to it. It's hard to lose yourself. That's why sometimes I appreciate that I'm just a movie fan, because I don't see it as a series. I see it as, this is a movie.
Right.
And I like the movie. Like episode 8, it's a movie. I thought it was fine as a movie. Mm-hmm. As part of the overall story, you guys are probably 100% spot on.
It doesn't give anything to the story. But like you said, as a movie, sure, watch
what you're saying.
Enjoy it. Well, and it's frustrating.
I'm still going to punch you in the arm after this gets done. But I get what you're saying. But
even after that, with Rey learning the old Jedi arc, the old ancient Jedi text, and she learns how to force heal something that the Jedi said, hey, that's unnatural, we're not going to do that. And so then she learns, hey, before all these rules were made, Jedi actually used the Force to heal things. Cool. And then she heals like the giant sandworm or whatever it is underground, and she heals people through the Force. And then Kylo's dying and she's like, oh, don't die. And then he dies.
Right.
Well, you could force
you could fix him since he had his change of heart.
I don't make the rules, you guys apparently do. So that's frustrating. And just because Jackson's still thinking here, I'm gonna take 2 more seconds and mention my.
Is it on me?
More frustrations. With Rey taking Skywalker as a last name. Another hot take that I'm bringing to the table here.
That was dumb AF.
Dumb AF. And if she would have said Rey Solo, I think we could have all got on board, because she was in love with Kylo, and Han and Leia both knew her and basically took care of her. So I think there was a connection there with both of them.
That made more sense. Why didn't she just have her own path? But then the title wouldn't have made sense.
Then change the title. Yeah.
Right. Because the movie is The Rise of Skywalker, right?
Right.
And they just wanted to keep that because it sounded cool. But again, and it's still Skywalker blood. Solo, Leia.
Right. And some of that, too, is Disney hanging on to that Skywalker storyline.
Right.
That now gives them another 3 movies of the Skywalker name starting over.
Right. So it kept Skywalker in there, and they brought back Palpatine. So now it's Skywalker and Palpatine.
Attorneys at law.
That's what it sounds like.
LLC.
So Okay, this just assuming that they are going to make 3 more movies where they carry on the Skywalker name, because Rey at the end said, "My name's Rey Skywalker."
Ugh.
Who do they hook her up with?
Why does she have to hook up?
How does she continue the Skywalker line if she doesn't hook up with somebody?
Well, she took a different last name than what was
She
her
could
own.
adopt. She could adopt a couple of
No, no,
younglings
but
or
the
whatever.
point
Probably
is-
bring back Ben Solo.
That's he's dead. Why not bring him back? Everybody
Yeah.
else
His
comes
purpose
back.
is not
So
finished.
what? He died. It's never stopped us before.
It's fine.
It's very comic booky. Again, I mean that happens in comic books a lot too.
And soap operas,
Yeah, and it's
Need to continue the story somehow.
it's a space opera.
right?
So I mean,
Later that day, 50 years later. But no, if she took a name that wasn't hers, who's to say that somebody else can't too? Like they become enamored with her and say, okay, well, I'm a Skywalker too now.
Well, she stole the name. I guess I can too.
Yeah.
Right.
so it's Skywalker on Skywalker. Ugh.
No, they're her kids.
Wait, what?
Don't be gross. All the younglings are now Skywalkers under her.
That's right.
Yeah, they
Tutorage.
changed it from Jedi to
Tutelage.
Skywalker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's no longer the Jedis; it's the Skywalkers.
Right.
Okay, don't TM that one. I don't want credit for that
and
idea.
then Yoda comes back and just
Just so all of you know,
Goes
that
crazy on
wasn't
everybody.
Jackson. No one named Jackson said those things.
No one named Jackson has ever or ever will say those things.
It's fair.
All right, so it's on me. What is the?
I have another. I have a list of questions.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, what? Ooh, if you could green one weird Star Wars project, what would it be and why?
green
If you could greenlight it, like say this is what we're gonna do.
a Star Wars zoo.
Villains Land for Star Wars villains.
Well, that would be
Ooh.
amazing.
Really, you guys think that'd be neat?
Yes.
I think it'd be really cool.
So I'm gonna build on that. Instead of just having Galaxy's Edge be a small Star Wars land, build an entire Star Wars theme park. That the whole thing is Star Wars. You could have your area dedicated towards villains. You could have your area dedicated.
Eras. You could have
Eras,
you could have
yeah.
your Eras Star Wars tour. There's a whole Taylor Swift area. But so yeah, that'd be really neat, man.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like the villains land fits in there.
Are we going to talk about Galactic Star Cruiser ever?
Yes. Do you want to switch to there now?
Well, I think it kind of lines up
It-
with what you're just talking
chaos.
about.
Chaos. This is a chaos
Do it.
episode. So dig in.
So the reason that flopped so spectacularly is because families could choose to spend 3 days there where there was no... I mean, yes, the hotel was attached to the park. So you get to go in, yes.
Can you give listeners and Jackson a little backstory? What exactly are we talking about here?
So the Galactic Star Cruiser was the resort that they built directly adjacent to Hollywood Studios in Galaxy's Edge.
Okay.
And the doors of Galactic Star Cruiser opened up into that area of the park.
And we didn't stay there?
No.
No.
It's bad.
It wasn't
Because-
bad. It was amazing.
It was amazing, and like all of your food and everything was included, much like a cruise. However, these 3-day adventures, you could only stay there for 3 days at a time
Okay.
because it took you kind of through a story, like it was an entire experience. But the thing about it is those 3 days cost just as much as taking a week-long cruise.
Yikes. Okay. All right.
And there was no, like, yes, you get to go into that part of the park. Big deal. You still have to pay for park admission.
It was like a $4,000 experience for,
For
3
3
days.
days.
So anybody trying to enjoy themselves would be tapped out monetarily real quick, unless
So-
you're.
What, so was it just like? How did they justify that? I guess the price just because it looked neat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it?
they
That's really
they knew
it?
who their fan base was.
Right.
Because we're
And they thought they could steal from them, basically. So you get
Yeah.
this Star Trek Battlestar Galactica ship that's supposed to be Star Wars with limited fan experience or like character experiences.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't remember how much it was per night.
It was like $5,000 for the whole per person.
Yeah,
the whole-
per person it was thousands. And it just,
That's why we didn't go.
and that's why not many people went, and that's why they
Fine.
ended up
Closing it
folding
down,
because they weren't getting their money out of it. And like, well, yeah, they're not
and they
going
couldn't
to.
just reduce the price.
No, because they had built it so much that expense was
Like it was so like if I probably would have spent the money on it just because of the immersiveness of it. Like it was 24/7 staffed with people who made you think that you were on a Star Cruiser.
So it was like being on Rise, where you're walking through the queue
24/7
and then-
for
yeah,
3
like,
days.
And again, your food and everything was included.
Sure.
And like when you check in, you have the opportunity to go into a gift shop and purchase a costume that's going to make you look like a Jedi, or one of the uniforms from the TIE fighter, or not,
And
X-wing
you would-
pilots, and all of this kind of stuff. And you could do all of that, but every piece of it cost you more money.
And you would go through it and you'd have an adventure. Like you'd be broken out into like groups and you would have mysteries to solve, or you would have adventures to go on. And part of that would take you out to Galaxy's Edge, to where you had to go find things in Galaxy.
But
It was a
couldn't
really cool
You
experience.
couldn't just go enjoy Galaxy's Edge
Right,
because
and
you were on
that's-
this mission.
Like some of that, it sounds fun if you want to do that, but
Right.
like, okay, all right.
But it's also very people-y.
So the
Means
party
like it's not-
sizes for you, Jackson, and anybody else listening that hadn't really looked into it, for 2 adults, it was $4,800. For the 3
Per
guests, which
person?
is 2 adults, 1 child, was $5,200. Or the 4 guest package, which is 3 adults, 1 child,
And a
riddle me
partridge in
that.
a retreat.
3
Danny.
adults, 1 child, for $6,000.
That's for how long?
3 days.
This says 2-night voyage.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
yeah.
So 2 nights for $6,000 for me to take my family. And that's
Space is
extra.
expensive.
you know how fast Disney days go. Like
Incredibly fast.
You're there,
yes.
and
Yeah.
then
and then you're asleep.
right.
Right.
So imagine spending that much money on days that go that fast when you can't really even get immersed,
Right.
but you're immersed because you're
So-
doing this thing.
Now either you're moving to a different place, or and you paid that for those couple nights, or you pretty much land, you get there, you try to do the experience, and then you roll.
Excellent. Okay, are we done with that topic?
I think so. I think it could have been done so much better, and we can
Yeah.
talk about that more if we want.
Okay. So as we get closer to wrapping this one up, let me maybe 1 or 2 more questions. Ooh, we might do we got at least 2 more. Practical effects or full modern tech? Which is better and why? We hinted on that in previous episodes when we were talking about Walt and George kind of being the same person in terms of how they invented that kind of thing. But which is better, those practical effects or the CGI Ryan Johnson blowing stuff up?
Andy, I'm ready. Should I go?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah. I concur wholeheartedly. So,
No,
Scott,
and
next question.
Let me allow. Yeah. Moving on. Next question.
What a
next?
dumb question, idiot.
Do it.
No, I didn't do it. I really do, and I actually kind of do mean yes. I think pay homage to the practical stuff. Mm-hmm. Incorporate the new stuff. Mm-hmm. Don't rely on one or the other, because I feel like it holds true to the Star Wars theme, to their legacy, to everything, to have a rubber mask on a dude in a cantina.
Right.
I feel like that's great. You have to have that. I think, again, one of the themes we've talked about is Mandalorian, how great that is. They've done that. Mm-hmm. They have a random person in a mask whose eyes don't move, who are in the background. Like nothing. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to rely on it, but do both. And I think you can do it well. I
Right.
think do both, do it well.
Okay.
Which was also my nickname in high school.
Do both, do well. Yeah, I concur. I think we're to the point now where we could do that. We as in them, I guess. I
Right.
have no part of that.
It's we.
It's we.
It's we.
With with episode 1 through 3, we saw a lot of CGI.
Mm-hmm.
And there's that famous, it's not even a meme, but it's that famous picture of George in 77 or 78 standing in front of all the props used in his movies. And then there's a picture of him in 2000 or whatever, and he's standing in front of a green screen, just to kind of like point out, like, hey man, like everything was CGI. They filmed in a studio that was all green, you know.
Right.
That's rough. And that's why Jar Jar, of all the things in the prequels, felt realistic. It was a dude in a costume walking around. They
Right.
CGI'd the face, but everything else was real. Mandalorian, it's all filmed, you know, on a set that's all screens, but it's enhanced by CGI. It's all screen behind them of moving sands and desert or whatever it is, and they just kind of clear it up a little bit with CGI. So it's actual people in costume with props with a background that's digital,
Right.
And so they can do that. We've seen CGI with bringing back old characters from the past, Luke, Grand Moff Tarkin, Princess Leia. We've seen CGI at work, and they just keep getting better and better. But I think nothing's going to be able to top a person in a mask or a costume. And if you want to enhance their mouth movements or their eye movements with CGI, power to you. But nothing's going to beat a person standing next to you in costume with all the movement, the shadows. There's just things that CGI can't compete with. So I'd say a healthy blend of them, and probably err on the side of real life and costume and mask, and use some CGI than trying to do CGI heavy.
Right.
We've had that, and we've seen it, and it's pretty cartoony.
Right.
And only Sith steal in absolutes.
True. So a healthy gray area.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Okay. What job would you have in the Star Wars universe?
Trash compactor cleaner.
Cleaner, even. Not even
Cleaner.
operator.
Wow.
Not even
Cleaner.
operator, cleaner.
No,
That's-
I wouldn't operate it. No.
You know, I think like most red-blooded American kids growing up, I'd want to say Jedi because that's cool. That's
Right.
what everybody hopes to be.
Is that a job?
Well, yeah. And for those that followed
It's a
Skeleton
lifestyle.
Crew, those kids wanted to be the one kid wanted to be Jedi. You know, that was his whole life. You know, goal was to be a Jedi, and I think that's a lot of us kids that grew up in the 70s or 80s. You know, idolized Jedi. I think I've stood there on street corners in a desert playing Sand Trooper in real life. So unfortunately, I think that's where I'd probably find myself playing a Sand Trooper in some godforsaken desert, hating life.
right. Out in the middle of Tatooine.
Yeah, yeah.
Candace, how about you?
Princess. That you right? Is that right,
Princess
Candace?
with a blaster.
Yeah. Listen.
Listen.
What about you, Scott? Is Candace's answer?
Actually, I want
Ooh.
to change mine.
Okay.
Bounty hunter.
You want to be a bounty hunter?
Mm-hmm.
I can see it. I want to be a cantina singer.
A singer,
you?
not okay. Jackson, I'll be there drinking. You can
Right.
sing to us.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Scott
I agree.
can sing. For those that are listening that
He
might
can.
not know that, he is a singer.
And his lips actually look like that. Yo, Candace is doing the lips.
Not a DSL, not a slice noodle thing. It's a whole different thing. No,
That went
Scott's
the
a
wrong
singer.
way.
That could be good though. That'd be good.
Yeah, but cantina singer would be fun.
Cantina or like international gangster Jabba backroom singer.
I think cantina.
Because
All
you're
right.
free and you can go home. Where
Oh,
if you're
yeah.
in Jabba's
they'll-
palace,
yeah, they'll-
you're
they
a
couldn't go
prisoner,
home.
and
but you got slave girls dancing. That's a toss up.
You do have Leia in the metal bikini at
Yeah.
one point.
So
Gross. We can all agree, listeners, that that's gross.
you heard it here from Jackson.
Yeah.
He thinks girls in bikinis are gross.
Sorry, my name's
Jackson
Andy.
is the
Move
one
on.
that
Name's
said
Andy.
that.
listen,
Val, I love you.
Okay.
do it.
I bet I know what this is going to be, but this is going to be the question we're going to end with. Lightsaber or blaster?
Okay, is anyone going to pick Blaster? Raise your hand if you're going to pick Blaster.
Well, real quick, can we clarify? Am I a Jedi?
Does it matter?
Yeah, it matters. If you ever wield a sword against somebody, it's basically the same thing. Blaster.
You know what? Andy's right. Andy's right.
If you're
Unless
not
I'm
a Jedi.
If you're not a Jedi, well, I think everybody who watches this, they're like, I'd be a Jedi.
Yeah, right. And
Nah.
that's how I'm trying to approach it realistically.
No?
Realistically, in the space opera, where it's a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I'd have a blaster.
Okay, I have a problem with that too.
Damn it. Okay. And
What do you have a problem with?
I have a problem that we're calling this a space opera.
What is it then?
Nobody's singing anything.
No, space opera meaning like soap opera.
Oh,
You're not singing during the opening scene.
well, of course. But
Scott's singing in a cantina.
Right.
I
I'm
about
wielding
get
a
thrown out of
blaster.
theater for
Right.
that.
No, I
Hating
bet.
my government job.
That's all your questions, Scott?
That
I thought you were going to rapid fire at the end. No?
no, well,
That's it?
Do another.
one more question after that one. Okay, let me hold please. Most of these are okay, what is the most underrated Star Wars thing? And this is where we'll end it. Most underrated Star Wars thing.
Can you define thing?
Whatever you want it to be. Most underrated Star Wars. I'm not going to limit your imagination.
I would say for me, when I talk about Star Wars or when I encourage people to see Star Wars or whatever it might be, dealing with Star Wars, I think it's underrated on their end because they picture the flood of everything we've had and the intimidation of trying to watch everything. And all I mean is like watch episode 4 and approach it from like just sit down, turn off your phone, and watch the movie. And I say that it's got multiple points here. One, I'm used to watching movies now with people that have to keep checking their phone or keep checking social media or checking their text or checking whatever.
You don't do that?
Oh, well, depends on if I've seen the movie or what I'm doing.
Okay.
So I'm going to be
No-
honest.
no judgment.
So, yeah,
I'm
no,
curious.
being
I'm
honest.
honestly curious.
If I haven't
Because
seen it,
I do.
I'm complete ADHD, neurodivergent. I want to check all that stuff. I have to turn it off. I have to separate myself because I want to be able to enjoy the movie, and I can't if I have a phone readily accessible.
Sure.
And I know myself. I know my weaknesses, so I separate myself from that.
It's not a weakness. It's just a different way you're wired.
It's how I am. Right. Thank you, Candace.
You're
So,
welcome.
so I just know that that's me. So when I want somebody to watch Star Wars, I don't mean start with Acolyte and watch 8 billion different things so we can talk about it. I mean, sit down, watch episode 4, and come at it from a point of view where you don't know what you're expecting, and you just watch a movie, and you're going to see it hits on all these things that really changed the cinematic universe in the 70s and really struck home to a lot of people, and not just the sci-fi nerds at the time or whoever it was. It really impacted a lot of people. And I'd like people to understand that when we talk about Star Wars, it's talking about that kind of feeling, you know, and it's not this now flood of merchandising and a billion different episodes of everything and all these little offshoots. I think Star Wars, when people talk about Star Wars, what they're talking about is the feeling you get from watching that one or whatever episode, that special episode, whatever it might be.
Okay. Excellent. And I lied. That's not going to be my last question. But mine is music. And you might be saying to yourself, is the music of Star Wars really underrated? I think everybody knows the theme song, like as the words are scrolling on the screen, everybody knows that. But music plays such an integral part of the entire storytelling.
For sure.
Sorry to interrupt, Scott, but Candace brought it up about when we were talking about favorite like villain or what earlier, and she said Darth Vader has the best theme song, and my little tiny Jackson brain exploded because obviously, and as soon as she said it, like it came into my mind immediately.
Yeah.
It's in the zeitgeist of of culture. So you continue, but yes,
Yeah,
I
no,
think
that
you're-
was it. That's my most underrated. Is I think people don't give enough credit to the music in any movie,
Right.
Yet alone something like Star Wars. But every pivotal moment, every
Well, and Andy even brought it up earlier with the binary sunrise or sunset,
Yes.
where that hits you in the feels, and Leia has a theme,
Yep.
and that hits, and it's just like it's one of those brilliant things, and John Williams does this a lot,
And he's 90 now?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. Where you don't know the music is there, but you would know if it was missing.
100%. Yeah.
And without it, the story doesn't make as much sense as it does with it.
It doesn't feel the way it does.
Yes.
Right.
Unless, yeah, if you watch some of these things without the sound to it, it doesn't hit how it hits.
And I think
Right.
that's a tribute to, again, everything Star Wars. Because if you play the Darth Vader theme, to
which is
somebody that's-
Val's When She Calls Me, that's the song that plays.
that
When she calls you or you call her.
When she calls me.
I was gonna say that makes sense, but that's not what I meant. I meant it the other way around. That would make more sense. No, but if you play that for somebody that's never seen Star Wars or doesn't know Star Wars, and you played the Darth Vader theme, people are gonna go the Imperial March. You know, they're gonna go, "Oh, that's Star Wars." Yep. If you play the intro to the scrolling credits, they're gonna go, "Oh, that's Star Wars." They might not know whose or
Or
which.
seen the movie. They
Right,
just know.
But they know it's Star Wars, and you can do that with just about any piece of Star Wars music. People are gonna go, "Oh, it's Star Wars." You know, people know it.
Yeah.
John
and
Williams
you
is
also
the man.
know Superman, and you also know Indiana Jones. and you
E.T.,
also
Jurassic
know,
Park,
Yes.
all the
Yes.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, that is
He's-
John Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
National treasure.
Yep. Agreed. Wrapping
Thank you,
him
John.
in
Yeah.
bubble wrap.
Yeah.
Not
Thank
too
you.
tightly, though, around the
Yeah.
breathing
Yeah, this is not a toy.
apparatus.
Okay. Other underrated. If not, I do have one final question.
I'm struggling here.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
So-
yeah, if you want to,
We'll wrap up with who's your favorite kind of person to watch Star Wars with?
a fan.
Really?
Well, I sent this group a video. I don't know if they watch it, which is fine. And it's a person watching Star Wars with someone for the first time, and them like watching the other person watch it's just at this point in your life and how long it's been out. It's just you can't replicate that magic.
Right.
Like either you're in it or you're not.
Right.
Like it's really hard for someone, who is younger to watch it or who hasn't seen it to watch it. Watching it with a fan who knows the things where you can go, "Oh, nerve herder."
Right.
That's my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah, who knows it.
Right.
Again, who you don't have to explain anything to, when you can just look over and give like a subtle nod to, like it's very connective.
Right.
So that's mine.
And I think that goes the same. And we weren't watching anything, but when we were in Galaxy's Edge with you, was my first time at Galaxy's Edge.
Right.
And just seeing you go through that entire experience.
Right.
That's one of my favorite things and one of my favorite memories ever.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah, what you were saying about the movies makes sense because watching it with somebody new, like that's never seen Star Wars, it's going to be a tough sell. If the first interaction of somebody in
It's an older movie,
2026,
too, like
right?
yeah, it really is.
Somebody's first introduction in 2026 is a 1977 movie. That's going to be a hard sell. But like, so I can see like experiencing Star Wars movies with fans, but experiencing Galaxy's Edge, I want that to be every time I go into Galaxy's Edge, I would love to go in there with somebody that's never seen it before. Just
I'd
because
go
you get
along with that.
so blown away by
that
it.
would be fun for me. Again, as someone who's gone for the first time
Right.
and seen it, to go with someone who hadn't seen it, I think would be really special.
And now, as you go back a second time, you can focus more on the detail,
Right.
like the trash cans that have is it Arabesh writing on them that call back to the trash compactor.
Right.
That like those little details.
Right. Instead of
But it's so
grandioso.
overwhelming at
that was the word,
first.
grandioso.
Yes.
Podcasters rewind when I couldn't say grand something. It's grandioso.
Yeah, and I concur. I think watching it with fans is easier and kind of more fun because you can sit back and you all shut up and just watch the binary sunset and you take it in and you all just kind of absorb that and you're like, that's amazing. And then you're like, oh, here it comes, and he hits his head when he's
Right.
coming in the door. You know, and the stormtrooper hits his head and you're like, and you all laugh. And you point out, oh look, when they're going up to check out the Millennium Falcon, and the one stormtrooper turns around, you can see on his back the grappling hook and everything that Luke uses later on because they use the same belts. Like it's all right there, you see it, but you're not going to point out every little thing while you're watching with somebody for the first time, because
Right.
they're trying to absorb the movie in all its awesomeness.
Right.
You know, once you've seen it a few times, now we can just sit and nitpick and laugh and talk about the things and still appreciate the movie. So, yeah.
There's less pressure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
less pressure. Okay. This was a fun episode, and what it made me realize is we could probably do episodes 7, 8, and 9 as full-on chaos, but we would have to start drinking before we hit record the first time. But that's...
Challenge accepted.
So yeah, thanks everybody for listening in. We appreciate you. Hopefully this doesn't sound too tinny. My microphone in my headphones sounds like crap right now, but hopefully it doesn't sound too bad on playback. But yeah, thanks for hanging in with us on all these
And
episodes.
thanks, Mink says. Well, I'd like to thank you guys before you sign off, Scott.
Yeah.
I hate to interrupt, but thank you guys for having us. Really,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you're welcome.
Thanks
Thanks for
for
being on the
supporting
show.
us.
This was
Yeah, we had a great time.
fantastic. And may the 4th be with you all. And remember, there is always a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
And we'll see you real soon.